Frieza, in my opinion, the definitive villain of the Dragon Ball franchise. With few exceptions, a pompous, irredeemable narcissist who refuses to ever learn from his past failings. Though with his upbringing, his father did very little to promote any mentality other than unquestionable inherent superiority. But what if he was raised by someone who wasn't a complete maniac, and also a person who could help hone his abilities and personality into something heroic? What if Frieza was raised on Earth? This story was created by Koboon. Please support them using the links below. A medic on board what would normally be the Frieza Force mothership takes note of a nearby alarm ringing out. This noise signifies the approach of an oncoming spacecraft. He immediately gets on the PA and announces himself as air traffic control, and to receive these incoming soldiers immediately. The pods contain none other than a trio of familiar villains of the franchise. One of the henchmen bowed to greet Vegeta and welcomed the group back, hoping they had a good trip. As per typical Saiyan etiquette, they rudely stomped right past the man, demanding he move away. Knowing how outmatched he is in terms of power, all they can do is tremble his apologies. Though, before they stray too far into the compound, the other officer informs of a situation that may pique their interest. Someone he refers to as His Majesty arrived yesterday. He's currently waiting in Sector 4. The Saiyans can report themselves if they desire. Nappa clacks his fist, excited. Surely a juicy reward is on the way for their swift conquering of Planet Shirts. This couldn't have worked out any better. Not long later, a flabbergasted Raditz stands frozen in shock, arguing but they just arrived. Zooming out, we find the Saiyans bowing in a mysterious presence. The youngest among the warriors contends they deserve at least a few days of rest before leaving to another planet so soon. Getting another look at this ruler, they don't appear to be another member of Frieza's race. And if this story is about Frieza being raised on Earth, who could possibly take his place as the all-powerful tyrant of the universe? Zarbon assures it's nothing personal. The Emperor merely plans to expand his empire beyond its current borders. Though honestly, soldiers like the Saiyan here should limit their objections and not question their ruler. As Raditz attempts to continue his pleas, Midoriya chimes in that he still has a lot to learn from his comrades. The goon even has the audacity to get right in the faces of Nappa and Vegeta, looking down upon them to emphasize his point. He tells Raditz to just look at them. Obedient, submissive, always silent. This is how disposable scum should behave. This abuse forces Nappa to sucker punch Midoriya square in the chin. While everyone else reacts accordingly, this mysterious new emperor doesn't appear to even flinch. Even Vegeta knows what a profound mistake Nappa just committed. But the brute shows no remorse and throws the consequences to the wayside. He wants to know who this pink guy thinks he's talking to. Unfortunately, we know too well the power difference between these two fighters, and this assault has left Midoriya fuming.
You wait, bastard! No! I don't want to die!
However, the henchman's retaliation strike is thwarted by the Emperor, leaving Midoriya maimed and disarmed. Terrified, he pleads to his superior why he's done this.
So many years at your service, and like this.
The Emperor scoffs that it appears those other three incompetents were also engulfed by the explosion. What a waste. But look at what a beautiful landscape has remained in the wake of his blast. Taking a bite of Midoriya's hand and asking Zarbon what he thinks, who fearfully reveals his Emperor to be none other than Lord Kakarot. Of course, at this point the only thing that may have hinted otherwise is he somewhat resembles Turles with the armor, though I'm sure many find this far more suiting. Risking his own skin, Zarbon has to object that what his Emperor just did was a grave mistake. After all, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz were doing well conquering planets. And now that they're dead, it'll greatly slow down the expansion of their empire. Still chewing, Kakarot knows what he means, but warns Zarbon to shut up. He can't shake his impulses to fight, and it makes him lose his mind a lot of the time. Getting a bit wistful even, he asks Zarbon if he wants him to tell him a secret. Naturally, that's what his superior wishes. Looking towards the sky, and just like the Goku we know, Lord Kakarot has been missing a worthy opponent for a long time. He has been the head of an empire full of weaklings for many years. Not even the elite of the elite come close to a fraction of his power. Living without any kind of obstacle goes against his very nature. That is the real reason he has recently intensified the expansion of his empire. He is sure there is a worthy challenge somewhere in the universe. Unknown to Kakarot's empire, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz all find a way to escape. Vegeta growls for his Saiyan comrades to turn off their scouters so they can't be tracked so easily. He believes the best thing for them to do now is to hide out on some remote planet. And so, time passed. On Earth, Yamcha and Krillin trained to test their skills, but the former advises he not get too overconfident. Similar to the exercise we'd see Gohan and Goten do, Yamcha picks up an armful of rocks. He asks if his fellow turtle student is ready, who tells him to throw with all his strength. Krillin fantastically dodges each of the stones one by one. His comrade cheers, "Well done, not bad at all." When our bald hero fails to heed the initial advice, he boasts he can even do push-ups while dodging. In fact, he bets he looks really cool. And so we have yet another scene of celebrating too soon. As Krillin is rocked in the face, his friend rushes over to make sure he's okay. He didn't mean to hurt him and he's sorry. Though Krillin mostly stews in his own stupidity for a moment. Not so much hurt, just becoming a little more self-aware. Yamcha shouts he's a fool! He told him not to get overconfident. By trying to act cool, he made himself look like an idiot, and girls don't like idiots. This prompts Krillin to joke if Yamcha learned that from experience. But something else has gotten the former bandit's attention. Frieza! But completely in Kame student Yi. He leaps down from the cliff as his allies happily greet him. They announce it's been a long time and want to know how he's been. It's so nice to see him. They question what brings him here and if he's come to train with them for a while. But that's not quite the case. Actually, he needs to talk to them both about something very serious. Off-screen, their smiles fade to inquire what's wrong with their friend. Rolling his eyes, he decides to get straight to the point. Outside Kame House, Roshi angrily asks if Frieza is reading manga again. How long has he not been training? But the Arcosian Frost Demon Frieza's race thing assures he doesn't need it. Now more concerned and confused, the old-timer beckons what he means. Frieza tells it doesn't matter what he does. His power keeps growing every day. That's why training makes no sense to him now. Kame-sen argues the downfall of seeing things that way is that he will only achieve what he sets at his own limit. He should remember that the real challenge is… Interrupting, Frieza stands and flips his book behind his shoulder, then finishing his master's phrase. The real challenge is surpassing oneself. He knows. He simply lacks motivation, that's all. If only he had a worthy rival. In other words, though Roshi is the one interrupting this time to plead he not say it, begging not again. But if someday he himself gets bored of this world, who will be there to stop himself from destroying it? Although already proving much different than the Frieza we're accustomed to, clearly this version still harbors much malevolence within him. The pair take a moment of silence. After all, there isn't much to say after a statement like that. Frieza then apologizes to the downtrodden Roshi, then informs he's going to meditate for a while. Back with the others, he explains although Grandpa Roshi, which is amazing to imagine Frieza saying by the way, has worked very hard all these years to keep these dark thoughts out of his mind, they always return. And the fact is, he's getting tired of fighting them. Krillin pipes for Frieza to not say such things. They will all find a solution together. Both he and Yamcha fully support him. That's what friends are for, right? Though the demon stares back at him in a stoic silence, appearing to grow numb to the affections of this planet. On the lookout, Kami stands observing the situation. Popo takes note he's been standing there all day. Something must be bothering him. He approaches to question if something's wrong, which breaks his focus. Simply enough, he has a bad feeling. A bad feeling that something terrible will soon happen on Earth. Right on cue, awakening from hypersleep. Raditz spots a particular planet from his pod. At last, they finally reached one. As the Saiyans approach what is presumed to be the Earth, how will their presence affect the inhabitants of the world below? Will they do their best to keep a low profile to evade the prying eyes of Kakarot's forces? Or will they merely do as they please, as they have so many times before? Surely, they can't pose any sort of threat to challenge Frieza. But with this reality of the story we know flipped upside down, what surprises are in store?